Hi everybody, my name is Brian Evans and I'm with Integrity Realty and Management. I am a professional property manager and today I just want to shoot a quick video on how you go about analyzing the market and determining market rents. I've been a property manager for about 10 years now, and I've seen this kind of conflict between property owners, real estate investors, and property managers on this issue of price. And I think the best way to solve that is just simply I just show my clients how I go about analyzing the market. And certainly, if you disagree with how I take a look at the market, I'm all ears. But I've been doing this for about 10 years, and not only have I managed other people's properties, I've managed my own. So I think I've got a pretty good grasp on how to price property and price it the right way so that you get the best tenant. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. I'm going to show you a property that I'm comping right now. And so you get an idea of how I go about comping out this property. So I'm going to minimize myself, and we're going to be taking a look at this property in Zillow. I recommend Zillow. It's a great tool. It's not the only tool I use, but to get an idea of the market, this is one of the first places I look. So if I'm looking at a specific neighborhood, this is where I go to take a look at what people are asking for rents. This isn't what people are receiving for rents. This is only asking price. I want to point that out because sometimes that's a bit of confusion with some people. But we do have some internal tools that show us what actual rents are. This tool links with other property managers throughout Denver and gives us actual rents of neighborhoods. But like I said, this is one of the first places I start to just see what's going on in a neighborhood. And really, this is going to be good enough for you as a homeowner or a landlord, a real estate investor looking at a market. This is going to give you a very good idea. And if you price it the way that I go about it, you're usually 99% of the time going to be in a very good price range to find a good tenant. So with that said, I want to kind of give you the theme of this video. So the theme is not to get the very highest price on your rental property. What your goal is to get the very highest quality tenant for your property. And so I'm going to be talking about that throughout this video. So let's go ahead and take a look at the property that I am comping out. So this is off Holly Street. It's right off Holly and Colfax. And I'm just going to scroll through this briefly so you understand what I'm looking at. You know, this is an updated house, stainless steel appliances, very clean. It's been staged. They were trying to sell it, but they decided to rent it. And it has a 2-car garage. But the main features of this house that I'm going to be pulling off here is really just three data points. It's how many bedrooms you have, how many bathrooms you have, and then I go off total square footage. This is above ground square footage. That's really not what I'm after. What I want to see is the total finished square footage. So again, that's total finished square footage, not just total square footage. So those are the 3 numbers that I use, and that's it. So when you go into Zillow, I've already started this process because my internet's been kind of moving slow, and I didn't want to spend a lot of time waiting on this to upload and download and do all that stuff. So I went ahead and I've already searched the property. The property is, let me see, it's right here. Let me see if I can zero in. It's right off Colfax and Holly, which is right in this area. And I'm not going to zero right down in that spot because that's not really what we need to do right now. But I'm already in the rent tab. I've already clicked on the property. I've already clicked on these 3 data points. So I've got 3 bedrooms. You want to click on, if you're a single family house, you want to click on houses and townhouses. If you're an apartment or condo, you're selecting these 2 and deselecting houses and townhouses because you want to compare to like properties, obviously. And then the third thing you want to put in here, or second thing I should say, is your bathrooms. And then you want to put in a square footage range based on your finished square footage. So we said ours is 2,300 square foot. So I'm putting a plus or minus square footage range of about 20%. Now this can vary depending on your type of property. So if you have a condo and you have a lot of competition in your area, you may want to narrow that down a little bit more and do plus or minus 10%. And on the flip side of that, if you have this really large high-end property, it's like 5,000-6,000 square foot house, you may want to kind of widen that range a little bit, because there's not going to be a ton of properties that you can comp to in that size of house. You might want to do it plus or minus 30% to give you an idea of range. So, and then another thing you might want to consider is if you want to be more aggressive in price, you want a broader range. If you want to be less aggressive in price, you do a narrower range and look at a narrow range. And I'm going to jump into that in a minute. So anyway, so I've already got those buttons clicked in. The next thing you want to do is you want to narrow down on the neighborhood. You've got too much data here to work with to really make any kind of fair comparison to your property. So once you go ahead and just hit this little circle tab over here, and you want to go and just draw a circle probably around, 2 miles around your house, 1.5 miles, something like that. And what that's going to do, draw the circle, hit apply. That's just going to zero down on a selected number of properties around yours. And that's all you want to focus on. It gets rid of all the other properties around. So now that we're done with the map, let's go ahead and go over to the list. So now we have a much more manageable list after we zero down on the properties. Now I want to point out something here with these buttons up top. So Zillow is catering to tenants looking for properties. That's what they're doing. They're not catering to landlords. So look at what the 3 buttons they have here. They have verified source, which I don't think a lot of people use that. The next one is that a lot of people do search by newest listing first. So that if you just posted your property, no matter what the rent price is, it's going to show up on this newest list. And that's because there's often a lot of planners who are out searching for a property, and they haven't found what they like yet. And so you want to be on this newest list with the right price, because you want these planners, these guys that plan, these people that plan ahead. They pay rent. They pay rent on time. They plan ahead. They take care of their responsibilities. These are good tenants usually. So you want to be on this list with the right price. So let's jump into the third button that Zillow has here. Notice that the rent button is from rent low to high. Why do you think they put that button versus a rent button for high to low? Because this is how tenants search for property. They do exactly what we just did. They put in the number of bedrooms they want, the number of bathrooms, the kind of square footage you're looking for, and then they're looking at a specific area. They might not be drawing a circle, but they're looking for a specific area that they want to live in. And so you want to be on this short list of high to low, because if you're on the bottom of this list, this 4,000, these 3,500, the 3,300, you're not even getting on these tenants' short list. So what they're doing, they're scrolling from lowest to highest, and they're scrolling down this list, and they're picking 2 or 3 properties that they like, and they're setting showings, and they're going out and viewing those. If you're too far down this list, you're going to be not even getting on the tenant short list, except for, and I'll get into this, this is probably a good time to get into this, except for the tenants that can't qualify for any of these houses. You're going to be getting, these people down here are going to be getting phone calls from tenants that aren't qualifying for anything else. And I know this for a fact, because if I have a property that is overpriced, I immediately know that I'm overpriced, because the only people that are calling me are people that, can't qualify for any other property. They have judgments on their record. They have evictions. They have really bad credit. They don't make any money to support the rent. Maybe they're Section 8, something like that. They don't qualify. And so I'll get these phone calls from people saying, hey, I want to know if I can qualify for this house that's, that you're listing. And they'll start going through these things. And once I start getting to, those kind of phone calls on a property, and I'm getting no other qualified tenants calling me, I know I'm overpriced. So anyway, so let's go ahead and jump into this a little bit. I just want to compare a few properties to the one I have. So we've already looked at mine, and this lady that came to me, she wanted about 2,500 in rent. I'm already feeling pretty good about this, but based on what I've looked at. This is a very nice updated house. I'm going to take a look at this 2300 and see what we have here. So, you know, this is a fairly updated house, newer kitchen, granite countertops, updated bathroom. It's not bad. I mean, mine's better. So, but you know, they're priced very aggressively. In fact, I would be surprised that if this stays on the market very long. Let's take a look at that and see how long they've been on the market. So they've been on the market for about 20 days. That's a little longer than I expected with this price range. Oh, so look at the bottom here. This property is not even available till January 1st. So it's like 2 months away from now that this property is even going to be available. So what these people are doing is actually really smart. I wonder who's doing this. It's a realty company. So what they're doing here is really smart. They're pricing very aggressively, and they're collecting applications. And they probably are. I bet they already got 5 applications on this property. And they are going to select the best tenant. So they're willing to drop, because this should probably rent for about 24. They're willing to drop their rent down just a little bit to have the ability to pick from the best tenant pool. So, you know, this is in complete opposite of this person down here. Let's take a look at this $4,000 house. And I want to know if there's something special here that I'm missing. You know, it's not even really that updated. You got a pink tub. You know, the floors are nice. It looks like it's clean, but it's not super updated. It doesn't look like, I don't know if that's granite or not. Nothing super special about this house. It's a little bigger. It's a 3-2, but it's 2,500 square foot. I'm just not seeing it. I think this property is probably going to sit for a while. It's already here for 35 days, and if these pictures are correct, it is vacant. So they're probably looking for somebody right away. I'm not going to jump in and spend a lot of time on this, but I just want to point out that, you know, that what they're probably getting is, you know, the only people calling on them are the unqualified tenants, because all the qualified tenants are up on the top of this list trying to get the best house for the best price. So let's take a look at a couple more so we get an idea. And here we go. This is a great house at 2,500. So I like this. This is a great comp. So they're asking 25, 25.9. Let's take a look at maybe one more. I've already been through this, so I already got a pretty good idea of where I want to be. Again, fairly updated house, very nice, 3-2, 1,900 square foot. So I am, you know, I'm really comfortable with this owner that wants to be at this 24, 25 mark. You know, we can start at 24.95 and even drop down to 23.95 if we want to get super aggressive. So I'm in agreement with this. This is a great price. I think we're going to find a really good tenant at that price. If I was working with the owner that was asking, you know, 3,000 or the high 2s, I'd be concerned. I would, you know, be hoping that they look at this video and get a better idea of why they need to be priced more aggressively. So anyways, that is how to price out a property in a nutshell. And this works in just any market. It gives you a good idea of how to price your property so you find the best quality tenant for the best money. And having I don't really need to go into this a whole lot, but having the best tenant is key in any real estate investing venture when you're renting out property, because if you have a bad tenant, they just cost you so much money. But if you have a good tenant, they that treat the property well and pay rent on time, that makes the real estate investing rental work. So anyways, that is everything in a nutshell on how to analyze your market. So certainly give me a call at Integrity. My number is 720-656-5080. And if you have any questions or you want to dive into this further, thank you.